Yo, what's up, and welcome to episode 97 of Throwback Hoops. My name is Rob Clayton, and joining me as always is Woody V. How you doing, bro?
Good, man. It's been a busy week, but yeah, the FIBA break's nearly over, and looking forward to some ball start tomorrow.
A little bit strange last weekend with no NBL, wasn't it? I found myself sort of, wondering what I was going to do without it, but it'll be great to have it back. So, before we get into the show, just a reminder where to find us. We're available on YouTube, and our audio is available where all good podcasts are found. Please make sure you like, rate, and subscribe. And just wanted to thank everyone for all the views and subscribers we've had coming on in the last sort of month or so as well. The numbers are really high at the moment. It's really great to see as we 3 episodes away from the big century, right, Woods?
Exactly. Can't wait.
So you're going to come on the show, like raise your bat like a cricket style once we get to 100? Or what?
We've got to come up with something, right? You know.
True, we do. All right, well, let's start as we do every week, man. Why don't you tell us about who you're wearing today?
Sure thing, man. I'll just stand up.
So Woods is standing up, rocking the nice number 25, Phoenix Suns, Mikal Bridges jersey. And it is Mikal, not Michael, right?
Mikal.
Definitely Mikal. All right, nice.
Like Go Gadget, some of the nicknames, because for his long arms. I'm a big fan of his, man. You said earlier you didn't know that I even had this jersey, right?
No. Funny, we're both rocking purple today, too. We didn't even plan that.
For sure, man, for sure. I'm just going through my jersey. I'm like, man, I'll wear that one. So he's 27 years old, 6'6" tall. He was the 10th overall pick in the first round of the 2018 NBA draft by the Philadelphia 76. Obviously, once he was acquired by the Philadelphia 76ers, he was subsequently traded to the Phoenix Suns in exchange for the draft rights to Zaire Smith and a 2021 first-round pick. Now, he was a defensive specialist, in his time at Phoenix, and becoming an NBA all-defensive first-teamer once. Actually, it was combined last year in 2022 when he played with both the Phoenix Suns and the Brooklyn Nets. He's a two-time NCAA champion. His game just went to the next level after he left. Right? I think 7 points a game. He went up to 26 points a game with Brooklyn last year. Really is the number one guy on that team. For a guy who was a glue guy, he could do a little bit of everything. Solid offensive player. He's 26.1 point, 4.5 rebounds, 2.6 assists. Shooting 38% three-point land, and he's maintained those stats to somewhat this year, averaging 22 points a game. Did we think his game was actually able to evolve and bring out that offensive side of him when he was in Phoenix?
Well, I know someone that was disappointed when he got traded from Philadelphia, and that was his mum, right? Because she works in the front office or one of the offices of the 76ers, so she was pretty devastated to lose him there. And no, he really has come along, hasn't he? I mean, I watched that game against the Hawks, Brooklyn game last week, I think it was, and was it a career high he got? I know it was certainly a season high, but yeah, he was putting up some. He was just hard to stop. He's really improved his one-on-one game. I think playing for the USA has certainly added some things to his repertoire there. So no, good player. It feels like the sky's the limit with him as well. So All-Star this year, you think, or?
Probably. They're talking about him being most improved, but how can you be most improved when you're already averaging 26 points a game last year, right, in the back half of that, right?
Yeah, that's always a strange. I mean, didn't Ja Morant win most improved like the other year? So it's a strange award. Huh.
Let's not forget, he also did, I think, the whole 4 years at Villanova. A lot of players don't do that. I think he did the 4 years at Villanova and had a great college career, winning the 2 NCAA championships in 2016 and 2018. So, yeah.
So will the Knicks try and get him to add to their 3 Villanova players, right? So you've got Josh Hart, DiVincenzo, and of course Brunson there. So what a great sort of 4 players there that have gone on from those teams there and really made a name for themselves in the NBA. So. No,
they were together, right? On some.
I think Bridges was on the first, or maybe Brunson. One of them was left after the first year. We'd have to get someone to fact check that, but I know they're definitely products from that team there. So interesting, yeah. Well, as I said, we didn't sort of colour coordinate tonight. In fact, I had no idea who you were wearing until we turned on the mics and the camera tonight. And you had no idea who I was wearing, but I'm taking it old school tonight, Woods. I'm taking it back to some 90s Raptors. Give me some Raptors news, right? So. Look, I'll stand up and show you Actually, no, I'll talk about the one I'm showing behind me, like I always nearly forgot about that. So a bit of an unknown player, Woods. I asked you if you knew the number when we started. You weren't quite sure. How about Keon Clark?
Oh, I love Keon Clark. Is he having a drink at halftime or what?
Well, I'm going to talk about that. He probably would be, yeah. So Keon Clark, it's a purple Nike Raptors. It's one of those Authentics jerseys as well. So that would have been one of those ones that at the time would have cost about $400. So I'm not quite sure.
That has to be as random a jersey as we've had on the show.
It certainly is as random a jersey. And look, I was going to, when I thought I'd do the double Raptors, I was going to hang a Vince Carter, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to make it a bit more random than that. Keon Clark. So a little bit about Keon Clark. So only 7 seasons in the NBA, including only 2 games in his final season. So he was drafted out of UNLV by the Magic at pick 13 in the 98 draft, and then traded before playing a game to the Nuggets. He went on to play with Denver, Toronto, Sacramento, and Utah. And how's this one, Woods? He still holds a Raptors record for most blocks in a game with 12 against our Hawks in 2001. So 12 block shots in a game. That's just an amazing effort there. So, look, he's now 48 years old, Woods. He's had a number of issues since leaving the league. And as you mentioned, the alcohol thing, he's actually come out and said that he used to drink before every game. And in most games, he'd actually be drinking at half-time as well. So yeah. Pretty sort of sad to hear that. Feels like we've had some of the theme of some of these 90s and early noughties players, right, with similar sort of things with alcohol and drugs and that. So it's amazing, had he have not been doing that, he really could have carved a pretty solid career there. So as I said, a little bit of a sad story. I really did enjoy his career, though. Someone I like, and that was why I think I snapped up that jersey all those years ago when I found it. But that's, I like those old Nike jerseys there. That's the only Authentics one I've got of those. So it's a little bit of a weird sizing, but yeah, it's a really nice looking jersey. And it's black on the back as well, which you can't see, but it's that, purple front, black back there sort of thing. So what do you remember about Keon Clark, apart from the drinking stuff?
Man, he was very, very talented. Had a good college career as well, from memory. I remember playing with him on NBA Street Volume 1 on my PlayStation 2, right? Nice. One of those Raptors teams. Used to love using him. Left-handed, yeah?
Well, he didn't shoot much, yeah. Sounds right, yeah.
No. Yeah. I remember him being versatile as well, great defender. Someone with a lot of talent that obviously didn't use it to his full abilities. Yeah,
100%. Well, keeping the Raptors theme, I'll stand up and show you the one I'm wearing, and it's a very mighty jersey, the one I'm rocking today, Woods.
So hell yeah it is! Hell yeah it is! And Robbie's wearing the Raptors number 20, Damon the Toe Stoudamire, Mighty Mouse.
I know you're loving this jersey, Woods.
Oh, hell yeah!
Actually, first time I've worn this one, and to be honest, you have a look at the screen printing on this. This looks to be like this might be the first time this jersey's ever been worn. So nice to rock it for our 97th show. So fortunately, he had a bit of a more successful career than Keon Clark. So a little bit about the man known as Mighty Mouse. He played 15 seasons in the NBA after getting drafted out of Arizona at pick 7 in the 95 draft. Drafted by the Raptors and played with them, Portland, Memphis, and the Spurs. He was named NBA Rookie of the Year in 1996. Career high of 54 points in 2005, Wood. So I remember seeing the highlights of that game, and he was just hitting shots from everywhere. He had that real herky-jerky game, the left-hander, a little bit of Van Exel in some of his moves. He sort of, draw fouls. He was a really diminutive guy there. Wasn't much height on him at all there. And this is something you probably know. Maybe some of the viewers won't know, though. So he's actually the cousin of current NBA player.
I do know this. I know he's the cousin of Salim Stoudamire as well, right?
Yep, so cousins of 2 former players, actually. So Salim Stoudamire, shout out to our former Hawk, and Terrence Jones, who, if you remember him, he was last seen kicking someone on a court, I believe, in China sort of thing. He actually had a bit of talent. But, actually cousins of a current NBA family. So pretty talented family, this one. We've got Salim Stoudamire, Damon Stoudamire, Terrence Jones, and who's the current guy now? Former Boston Celtic, now with the Mavericks.
I know. Grant Williams, yeah. So bit of a cool connection there. So they would have had some pretty solid games going back in the backyard back in the day. Obviously, Damon's a bit older than some of these other guys there, but so he's currently 50 years of age, Woods, and he's actually the head coach at Georgia Tech. Which, interestingly enough, I checked it. The place I've booked for us to stay in Atlanta next year is about 8 minutes away from the Georgia Tech campus there. So who knows? We might be out one day and see Damon Stoudamire rocking around. But I know you're a fan of the Mighty Mouse. Tell me, what you sort of remember about his game. Just diminutive, right? A guy who just played with a lot of heart. I remember that rookie class he was part was awesome as well. I remember those early Portland Trailblazer days, right? Specifically.
The Jailblazer days, right? And he was actually part of that too, getting caught for
the bag of weed at the airport. He chucked it in the bin when they were trying to search him or something like that, right? But he was extremely talented. He was just worth the price of admission. That's what I remember. You turn on the TV to watch him play, right? Because he was an entertainer. Yeah.
And people always root for those little guys, I think, as well. You can sort of compare yourself a little bit more to someone that's, I think he was listed at 5'10", 5'11", or something. But he's actually had a pretty good bit of success with these assistant coaching roles in college over the years. So that's a pretty big job actually to get that Georgia Tech head coaching role there. So we certainly wish him all the best. So a bit of a trip down memory lane for me today. Keon Clark and Damon Stoudamire. So nice.
Awesome,
and I'm liking that.
8 choices today.
Yeah, some good ones, right? And the all purple.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, well, feel like we've got plenty to talk about today. Looking forward to get into it a little bit. I thought we might start with some NBA this week. Obviously, there was no NBL last week. We will do a preview of the upcoming round, but we'll start with the NBA. So I wanted to talk about, a couple of the teams that are playing some amazing ball right now. So one team in the East and one team in the West. So the team in the East was the Orlando Magic. Currently 12-5. Unbelievable. Second in the East, I believe. And in the West, the Phoenix Suns. They're currently 11-6 and on a bit of a streak there. But I thought we'd start with the Magic. How much of a surprise has this team been?
It's been a huge surprise, but a welcome surprise, right? And they've got Wendell Carter Jr. out. They've got someone else is out. Mikal Fultz is out as well, right? But just this way this unit has been playing, having Joe Ingles and Cole Anthony, Gary Harris, even Mortiz Wagner the other day had 30, right? You see that interview with Cole Anthony with the ESPN guys. They said, can we call you the bench unit Cole and the gang? And he's like, you know what? I called it Giles and his grandchildren. Did you see that?
I did. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
That was really funny. But then you got, we knew Franz Wagner was going to take to the next level. Paolo's obviously so talented, and he's obviously learned a lot from that time with the Olympic team. But the one that I really have been impressed with, that a lot of people wrote off, was Jalen Suggs. He's been terrific defensively.
Yeah,
he's been leading that team distinction, making great decisions on the basketball court, something that was missing from his play in last season. So I think he's been a big part of that team has needed to take it to the next level. And obviously having Gary Harris, Joe Ingles, and a surprising contribution from guys like Mortiz Wagner, that depth is there. And just really good to see Jonathan Isaac back playing basketball after what seems like a lifetime of injuries, right?
It was at least pretty much 3 seasons, wasn't it? The big one for me, and you mentioned him earlier, Cole Anthony. The play of him has been really impressive lately. Of course, son of former NBA player Greg Anthony there, lefty for the Knicks back in the day. He's been impressive. I think it was that little bit of point guard by committee with them. They had Suggs, they had Anthony, Markelle Fultz, who you mentioned. But I think you've got Cole Anthony on the defensive end and setting up the team, and then Suggs just with his ball hawking defense there. So great combination there. And I've got to say, they're not a team that I've watched a whole lot of now. I probably need to. It actually surprised me when doing the research for the show. I'm like, wow, Orlando is second in the East. Doing it with
got a lot of their guys. Got a lot of their guys on fantasy teams, so I've been watching, and I've been watching Joe Ingles.
It's like that sometimes at teams, yeah. And Paolo as well. I mean, he's obviously the star of this team. We talked about maybe Bridges being an all-star this year. I think Paolo's a huge chance to be an all-star this year. And he'll be a lock, right? If they continue with a record like this and he's, the best player, I think you'd still pick him over Franz Wagner, wouldn't you? I think he just does a little bit more at both ends as well, Paolo.
And look, Wendell and Fultz, they're going to help that team as well. What have they got? Go Bitadze starting center now, right?
Yeah.
When Wendell Carter comes back into that center position and starting line.
Can stretch the floor too. He's an improved three-point shooter, Wendell Carter, a good defender as well. So, I think he's close to getting back. I think he was like a game-time decision for their game yesterday. So, watch this space. I know it's a team that neither of us would have had anywhere near our predictions at the start of the year, and I don't think a lot of people would have, to be honest. They pretty much ran the same team back, didn't they? They didn't have any big free agent signings. They got guys like Ingles, like you mentioned, but it was more just bringing a lot of these guys back from last year. And I think Coach Mosley's doing a great job with them. Shout out to him.
Doing a great job. And by the way, Cole Anthony, he does have some similarities with that man jersey right now. Another little guy, probably not as not as little.
He's actually sneaky athletic, isn't he, Cole Anthony? We've seen him in the dunk comp. But he's got some things in his trick bag, doesn't he? So nice. Well, keeping the theme of what we were talking about before, Phoenix, the red-hot Suns in the West at the moment. They're looking pretty good, aren't they? Considering they don't seem to have had their full team. I mean, Bradley Beal, I don't know if we should be concerned about this back injury or whether they're literally just going to try and, conserve these guys to the playoffs. Been really impressed with Kevin Durant. I mean, he would be in the top 5 MVP contenders, I'd say, so far for this portion of the season. But how are the Phoenix doing this with, a lot of these important guys missing minutes and not having what is considered a deep bench?
Look, what you say, Kevin Durant has obviously stayed healthy, right, which has been great for that team this year. But they've sneakily done a few good things, man. I really like KBD, Keita Bates-Diop, right? And he's a veteran now in this league. Guys like Eric Gordon, Yuta Watanabe, Drew Eubanks. These guys are veterans that have played in this league before. Yeah. So I think, they have just surrounded, the big three with some nice little pieces. And the big concern is the trade, they wouldn't be able to fill up that, get some depth on that roster. But they've actually done not a bad job at all, in that. And Jordan, really impressed with him as well, man.
You were high on him at the start of the season, I thought.
Yeah, I was very high on him at the start of the season. I just knew that he would be able to contribute. That's why when they got rid of Campaign, I wasn't that concerned because I knew he'd be able to step into a backup role, and he's proved that, So.
I watched a bit of their game against the Knicks when Devin Booker got that game-clinching shot at the end. People seem to hate a little bit on Devin Booker. I know he's got that kind of punchable face and, he complains a lot and everything else like that. He is an absolute beast of a player, Devin Booker. He's a big game player. He wants the ball at the end of games. If he continues to play like this and they can at least get a bit more health out of some of their older guys, they could really be, right up there in the West. And, I was a little bit worried about their depth. I mean, Bol is on the team. I'm not sure if I've even seen him on any time I've played there.
He hasn't played.
He doesn't,
Yeah. So you look at Devin Booker, 29.4 points, 8.9 assists, 5.4 rebounds, 92% from the free throw line, 44% from the 3-point line, and 50% from the field.
So he's in the club, the 50-40-90 club.
Well, he's 49.7 from the field goals, so he's just behind it. But the point is,
great efficiency.
Doesn't just gaudy stats, man. Gaudy stats, right? And he's not selfish either, man. He makes the right plays as well and makes his teammates better. So yeah, I agree with you.
And you've always been an Eric Gordon man, I know that. So you must be pleased to see him still really contributing for a team at this stage of his career, right?
Yes. Time that he's actually going to get to play for the Phoenix Suns. You'll recall the offer was matched by New Orleans many years back, right? When Phoenix Suns signed him to an offer sheet, I think it was from him. So gets his opportunity again. This is exactly what they need because you've got a guy like Bradley Beal whose questionable injury history is a burden on that roster. Having a veteran like Eric Gordon who can really step in and, be that almost a third piece KD and third scorer alongside KD and D Book, right? So I think that's why they have to be the absence of Bradley Beal, having a guy like that.
Yeah. No, good call. I like those thoughts, Woods. Wanted to very quickly ask you about one of the games of the season today we saw, the Detroit Pistons taking on the Washington Wizards. Interesting one, right? I think Detroit had lost 13 in a row coming into it. Washington had lost 9 in a row. Washington won this easily. So I've got to say, I watched the whole of that Hawks-Washington game when Paddy got his first minutes on Sunday. That Washington team is one of the worst NBA teams I've seen for a number of years. So for them to beat Detroit with all these, top, 10 draft picks that Detroit have got, I think really shows what sort of a bad state that Detroit are in at the moment. But just thought I'd mention that. It was one of those games that, if it could have been a draw somehow or both teams could have lost, they probably would have made it happen. But, that Washington team, man, they were a tough watch the other day. Seeing Corey Kispert jacking up threes every possession and bricking every shot. And, and while we mentioned that as well, still not very happy about that Kyle Kuzma taking out my boy Jalen Johnson on the fast break. I don't know how, if you could say it was really malicious there, but I knew it was bad when it happened. And he's going to now be out from 4 to 6 weeks, which is a big loss for our Hawks. But anyway, we don't want to talk about these trash teams. I just thought I'd mention that. But
hey, one of the bright though, I will say, Daniel Gafford. I mean, this is the guy who could be a great backup center on a championship team, and he's showing that he plays intensity and cares more than anyone on that team. So
he doesn't mess around when he's got the ball around the rim, does he? He really throws it down. He's got some power on him there. Nice. All right, well, I thought we're about a month into the season, right, Wood? So I thought we'd play a very quick game of you were right, I was wrong. So hopefully you understand the rules of you were right, I was wrong. And we did our predictions when you were off jet-setting around the world, last month. Stewie from the Sports Blokes came on. Shout out to the Sport Blokes. And we did a few predictions, right? So I thought we just mentioned one each that we were sort of maybe way off on. So the one I'll get you to talk about was the T-Wolves, Wood. So if you remember rightly, I picked these guys to finish 4th in the West. You had them just sneaking into a playoffs play-in spot in 10th spot. I know we talked a little bit about them. I mentioned how high I was on them. They are currently 1st in the West with a 12-4 record. So in the theme of you were right, I was wrong, what are your thoughts on the Wolves? Do you think they can sustain this pace they're on right now?
I think it's a wait and see wait and see here. They've had a decent schedule of late, but I think Rudy and Anthony Gantz playing together was a big concern I had. But I think they found a way to coexist now and playing really well together. Obviously, Mike Conley just steering the ship is important for that team, and Ant Edwards, man, like. This guy is just on another level, man. So I think they can possibly. I was wrong potentially. I'm not sure that they're going to sustain the pace they are right now. So we could be somewhere between the two predictions by the time the playoffs start, right?
Yeah, no, I've enjoyed. I mean, I'm obviously a big fan of Caddy's, probably a top 3 or 4 favourite player for me in the NBA. So I do tend to watch quite a bit of him. And yeah, love Anthony Edwards' game. I think again another one of these players that played in the World Cup that's come back this season and looks in really good sort of game shape and everything else like that. Still waiting for a Cat or Rudy injury there, and then of course we've got my boy Nas Reed to come in, so they'll be fine there. But no, really liking what they're doing. I hope they can keep it up because they're definitely a team I'm interested in. And on the flip side, so one prediction we really differed on was the Sacramento Kingswood. So you predicted them to finish 4th. And I had them just making the play-in in 10th spot. So at the moment, you're looking a bit better. They're not setting the world on fire, but they're currently 6th with a 9-6 record. They had a bit of a shaky start, didn't they? So I believe they're 7-3 in their last 10 games. So I guess for me, I maybe thought last year was a little bit of an aberration there. I wasn't sure, could they keep this pace up? Again, another team that didn't really seem to add to their roster from last year. But, De'Aaron Fox and Domas Sabonis there, what a dynamic duo those two are. I mean, if they're making NBA Jam now, what a great duo those two would be.
They were the best. They would be the best. I
know they had to give up Halliburton, who's, close to being a superstar, but Sabonis is, what is he, the 3rd best big man in the league, I'd say, right?
Both teams have benefited from that trade, right? Yeah. And they knew that De'Aaron Fox was able to take his game to the next level, and you couldn't probably play both of those guys, right? So one of them to go, because they sort of serve a similar purpose. And you look at, De'Aaron Fox, 30 points a game this year, right?
The only person that could stop him was Dyson Daniels a few games ago, but he's putting up massive numbers, isn't he? Really improved. I think his playmaking and his shooting, I think, in these last couple of seasons. We mentioned Sabonis. I mean, he seems like he's a walking triple-double at the moment. I quite like what they're getting out of Keegan Murray as well. All reports from Sacramento, they love that guy. Like, absolutely love what he brings.
I like him a lot.
He's got the 3-and-D aspect there, but I think there's a lot more to him in that, with his game there. So, yeah, they're perhaps a team. What were your thoughts?
Malik Monk, man. I said that he'd be the 6th man of the year. He's like really playing good basketball. 13, 14 points a game. Great. Giving them the punch off the bench. Actually, did Sacramento beat the T-Wolves a few days ago?
They did. Possibly so.
Yeah, I think they did. So,
interesting.
I like what they do. They're well coached. The fact they haven't made a lot of changes and the nucleus has stayed together isn't all negative. These guys are familiar with each other. Do you know what I mean? And I like watching them.
I've got a King City edition jersey on the way as well, Woods. I decided to order a Sabonis jersey, so I've been looking at getting one of them for a while. We mentioned how much we like that Sacramento King City edition, so looking forward for that one to arrive.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm actually, underneath this, I'm rocking that T-shirt, courtesy of our boy Adam Ballinger there, with all the 90s NBA players. So there's an Arvydas Sabonis with his ginormous head on the picture as well. So, shout out to the Kings there, and we'll see how they go. Obviously, 9-6, they've certainly improved after a shaky start there. So, well, there's probably one more topic we need to feature on before we finish off the NBA awards. It's not going to be the Hawks. We're not going to bore everyone talking about the Hawks again. We do need to talk about Josh Giddey, right?
Yeah.
Give us some thoughts. Tell the viewers what's going on there. How you're feeling, and what your thoughts are on this Josh Giddey situation.
Look, innocent until proven guilty. Do you want to tell them the situation, what's happened, and what the allegations are?
Well, I think the allegations are that he had relationships or a relationship with a minor. So I think that hasn't been confirmed exactly how old she is. I believe the reports are saying that she's 15. interesting. I've seen video and pictures. I think a few other people have of them in a nightclub. So not quite sure how a 15-year-old could get into a nightclub when it's obviously an age of 21 over there. So look, it's pretty sad news to see coming out. I've had a few little things about Giddey that perhaps he was changing a bit. The dress sense, the other things like that. So perhaps that NBA fame, is maybe getting to him a little bit. But this is a tough one, I think, to comment on without all the facts. One thing for sure is that we do hear about these things going on in the NBA. Perhaps someone trying to get a quick payday there. I'm not sure. Obviously, it's an allegation that I think is probably being investigated behind the scenes at the moment. But I think this is really going to disrail his season with the Thunder.
This has recently come out, right? I don't know if you can see that there really well, but basically she's got a wiki profile because she's an aspiring model actress. Birthday 2008, California, United States. Lives in Newport Harbor, California, age 15.
Interesting.
And this has just recently come out, right? So. Yeah.
And that's the thing, what obligation do these guys have? And I'm sure they go through all these stuff in these rookie camps and that, but, say, for example, you did meet this girl in a nightclub, right? I mean, would you just not assume that someone is of an adult legal age or something for something like that? Or do you literally have to go and ID check people or something like that? It's a weird situation, isn't it?
Reading between the lines, he's very active on social media, TikTok, as is Josh Giddey, right? So they could have met through that. It's hard for anyone to tell. It's hard to tell if that website we're looking at is even real.
Who knows in this day and age, right?
So I think let's just sit back and wait. But, the guys have to make better decisions here, right? Yeah.
One thing's for sure, he will be a target for every opposition fan on the road this season, right? And that's going to be a big test for him, He's only just turned 21, I think, a month or so ago. So he's only just, he's certainly a young adult now. He's not a kid, he's only a young adult. But he's going to be copying it, right? I mean, there's been meme after meme this week. There's one that someone sent me today, which I'm kind of getting a bit over him, but it's, Karl Malone holding a torch and passing it to him. So, like we say, innocent until proven guilty. But fans of other teams aren't going to, take that theory. They're just going to be, rubbishing him all year. So hopefully he can come out better from this and it'll be a learning experience, but I think it'll be a little bit of watch this space with this topic, right?
Yep. Just leave it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, appreciate the NBA wrap. There's plenty to talk about there. So let's get into a little bit of NBL. So as you mentioned, the FIBA break last weekend, so we didn't get any games, which I know we missed. So round 9 is coming this week, so we'll go through and do a little bit of a preview on each game. There's a certain big game on Friday night, right, which we'll get into, Perth and Sydney, but yeah, do you want to maybe go through them and we'll sort of go through the games one by one? Yeah.
So why don't we start for 5:30? What time are we playing basketball on Thursday night, by the way?
We've got an 8:30 game, so this will be finished in time. That works out well. Yeah.
Right. So the first game's at 5:30 on Thursday between New Zealand and Adelaide. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I like New Zealand getting back at home in this one. Look, Adelaide's playing pretty solid ball at the moment. Probably a little bit better than we were both expecting this year, but I think I like New Zealand in this one.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, Adelaide played really well, though, to get that victory against SM, so it's a flip of a coin.
Yeah.
All right, Cairns versus Brisbane. We call that the what again?
What do we call it? You got to tell me. I never know this one. Sunshine
Star. Sunshine Stoush.
Okay, right. I don't know who thought of that. They could do better than that, but yeah. Well, it's an interesting one. I mean, even looking at the odds on this, it's literally $1.90 each there, so it's almost a coin toss of this one. I don't know. Cairns, seem to know the injury situation more than me. Have they got some of these guys back?
They're back.
So, interesting.
I think Bobby Clintman's going to be back.
Yeah,
they've lost 2 games on buzzer beaters. Yeah, McCall played and up in previous rounds. So I'm going to go.
Have they got a third import this week, or is he just going to be riding the bench again?
Yeah, he won't play much, but yeah,
strange one. Yeah.
I'm going to go Cairns. I think Gak might have a slight injury, so let's see. I'm going to go Cairns in a tight one. Yeah.
Yeah, look, I'll join in with that one. Also, Cairns. I think they really need a win in this one, don't they, to sort of keep pace with these teams that are contesting for the playoffs and the play in there. So I'll say, Cairns get up. And they've got a lot of games coming up, don't they? I think they've got doubles over the next at least 3 weeks there. So a chance for them to get their season a little bit on track.
All right, big game, man. Perth, Sydney at RAC.
Yeah, I mean, Perth's certainly coming in good form, aren't they? I don't know if it was the best thing for them, having that FIBA break. They're, coming in on, I believe, a 5-game win streak, I think it is. Kings have won 3 out of their last 5. I mean, I was at that game when you were still away last month, and the Kings just embarrassed Perth, to be honest. That game I went to at Kudos there. So I'd like to think Perth can get a little bit of revenge and win this one. But, look, game of the round for me. I'm really looking forward to Friday night.
Me too, man.
Yeah, 9:30 Friday night in the in Eastern States time there. So I'll say Perth will win, but I think it'll be a close one. And yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of this top tier talent from both teams really firing in this one.
Perth might just win as well, although I'm supporting Sydney. I have a feeling Perth could just sneak over the line with the form they're in at the moment. But yeah, it's going to be the round, right?
I'm a little bit worried, Woods, if Jalen Adams is, if he's a listener of Throwback Hoops and he heard what I said on last week's show. So if he did hear that, he might come out and try and drop 35 on the Wildcats there. But we'll watch that with interest.
For sure. Okay, so we move to Saturday. We've got Southeast Melbourne in New Zealand. Southeast Melbourne really need to really taking 2 tough losses. So I think they'll come back and win that at John Cain.
Yeah, I agree. I think Southeast for me on that one as well. Yep.
Tassie Adelaide, Saturday Ava. 8 p.m, so Saturday night.
Yeah, Tassie's been a bit all over the place, haven't they? They seem like they're, win one, lose one. They're sort of fluctuating a little bit in the standings. Had a couple of, look, I mean, I don't know if you call them lucky wins, but certainly some buzzer beater wins there.
Yep.
Yeah, look, I'd say Tassie will win this one. It could be a bit of a bleak weekend for Adelaide if they do go 0-2, like I'm probably predicting them to go. But yeah, Tassie for me. You thinking similar?
Definitely, man. And you got Will Magnay back, right? So that's definitely going to be the two-headed monster to go up against Isaac Humphries. And I think Tasmania will get that done with Marcus Lee and Will Magnay, right?
Yeah.
Melbourne versus Cairns. I mean, I find it very cool this one stopping Melbourne, especially at home. Cairns will be competitive as they always are, but you can't see anything different happening in Melbourne.
I think you're right. I mean, I see Melbourne come up on these when we do these previews each week, and I just find it so hard not to tip them. I mean, they are just loaded. I mean, I feel like, honestly, this Melbourne team, if you said, right, the whole starting 5 isn't playing, you can have the bench second 5 playing, and then we'll just get some, DPs or NBL 1 players, they would still be a competitive team. And they're such a deep team. Just some great Aussie talent on this team as well. Hopefully they're getting a little bit more healthy because we know they've had the injury bug the last couple of weeks. But yeah, I'd say Melbourne possibly pretty comfortably in this one too.
The final game of the round, Brisbane versus Illawarra.
Yeah, that's a tough one, I reckon. We saw Illawarra get that last win in New Zealand.
That's disgusting, man. They put up 69 points and New Zealand put up 64 or 65.
There should be a rule when in any sport in Australia, if there's a new coach coaching that team, that everyone should just load up and put heaps of money on. Because I swear, no matter rugby league, AFL, whatever sport it is, basketball, the new coach theory always seems to pay off there. So, look, I've got Brisbane losing that first one to Cairns, so I'll say Brisbane will bounce back and win this last game.
Brisbane easy at home, man. I think, right? So I don't think Illawarra has what it takes. All right.
Looking forward to it though. So obviously games from Thursday night up until the double on Sunday there. So some big games. Like as we said, none better than that Perth Sydney game. When's Sydney's next home game? I know you'll be going to that. Is that
Sunday week against SEM?
Oh, it's a night game.
Yeah. No, Sunday week.
Oh, Sunday. It's an afternoon one again. Give me 10 seconds on your thoughts on these Sydney Kings afternoon games on a Sunday. Give me 10 seconds on that.
I mean, they suck, man. Like, we need to, I know they want to do a family-orientated thing, but, back in the entertainment center days, there were Friday and Saturday night games, and it would be a nice time to go out with friends afterwards.
Yeah.
It's just Sundays, it does it for us, it caters to the young kids, which is fair enough. But you can still do 7 or 8 Sunday games and have another 6 games or 3 on Friday and Saturday instead of 11 Sunday games or whatever it is, right?
Do you know what a happy medium would be, Woods? What about if they played Friday, or say a Saturday game, 5 o'clock tip off, right? Or, 5 o'clock, I reckon that'd work. That's still a family-friendly time.
On a Saturday.
On a Saturday. You've got the precinct out at Olympic Park where people can go and watch the game. They can go and have a drink, go and have a steak at Ribs and Rumps, do something else like that and make a bit of a night of it. But, I don't know. They really seem like they've got their hearts set. And a lot of members, and obviously you've said the same, we've got a couple of mates that are members that don't seem happy with the move there and actually didn't renew their membership there. So I wonder, they obviously got this, they based this decision on feedback, I'm assuming, from the fans there. But it does seem strange that there's such a lot of games on a Sunday over compared to other times. But anyway.
Sport on Saturday as well, different times. Cricket's at some timings at other times. So 5 o'clock on a Saturday eliminates those people playing sport. I think that's why they put the Saturday game later.
That's only lunatics like you that stay out in an oval wearing white outfit the whole day.
Yeah. One more thing we might as well cover is that the NBL has announced that there are no positions anymore. There's no positions anymore in the all NBL teams.
Hey, can I say what I think about that? I read this today and I'm just like, Woody will hate this. Yeah.
I hate it. Well, let's just have 5 point guards. Let's have 5 point guards in our all NBL team. What about the big man getting some love? You know, Leonard Cohen was saying it recently. It's a guard-dominated league, right?
Yeah.
So they're just going to put 5 guards. Let's have, Jalen Adams, Bryce Cott, Chris Golding, Parker Jackson, Cartwright, whoever else, Jordan Croft. Let's have them, Milton Doyle. Let's have them as NBL. What about the big man?
My 2 comments on that, Woods, is firstly, what made them to change this? It's round 9. They did this last year with changing that rookie of the year, really late in the year. Didn't like how they did this. I don't know why that didn't work last year. Like, what was the problem with having, what was the inside and outside players? I think they had it.
What the hell is that?
Yeah, that's a bit weird as well. But I read today
point guard, shooting guard,
positionless league and stuff like that. But it does seem strange, doesn't it? Like
point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward. Who's the best at each position? It's the way it should be in every league, right? Yeah.
What about if they have 2 guards, 2 bigs, and then like a wild card? So it could be any.
I'll live with that.
Would you be more happy with that than 5?
I'll live with that.
No positions, right?
No, I'll live with what you said.
I agree. I think if the voters do come out and, say you said the guard example, what if it's the other example? What if it's like JLA, Big Sauce, you know what I mean? Keanu Pinder, something else like that. It's just all big guys there.
That's not going to happen.
I know, but it's a strange one, isn't it? And again, like round 9, why are they doing these things, when we're, a third of the way through the season already? I don't quite get it.
Stupid.
So it is. All right. No, I read that. I'm glad you brought that up. I thought you'd be saying that as well. So, all right. Appreciate that, Woods. Well, one thing I wanted to touch on before we get into another amazing classic packs, which I don't know where you got for us this week as well, but there's a little bit of WNBL talk, Woods. So, we're 4 weeks in. So, apologies. We know we've got a lot of, viewers that, like ourselves that really, do follow the WNBL. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about that. Firstly, I did get a new jersey this week. As you saw the photo, I got my Lauren Nicholson Flames jersey. Been messaging a bit with her this week, and she was.
What did she say when you told her you got a jersey?
She was very impressed that I got it. Yeah, and I said, I'll have to obviously come to a game and rock it soon. So she was pleased with that one. So I think when we had her on the podcast last year, I hadn't got her Townsville one yet. So maybe we'll try and get her back on again this season, Woods. That'd be nice to get Loz back on the show. And I can rock the Flames jersey and hang the Townsville one behind us. But I just wanted to talk a little bit. I followed it a bit more than I normally did last weekend, I think, with no NBL there. So one team that's obviously, and it's not going out on a limb saying this, but the Melbourne Boomers currently have a 5-0 record. They had a really tough game on Sunday, an overtime win against the UC Caps, who actually hadn't won a game. So the UC Caps is a team I've got a little bit of a soft spot for. A lot of those players on that team play in the NBL 1 East. You've got people like Nicole Munger, Solway, girls like that I sort of got to commentate these last couple of seasons, so got a bit of a soft spot for them. But that Melbourne Boomers team is just loaded. There's I'm not sure if you've seen much of Naz Hillman, but she dominated that game. 33 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists. You add her to a team with players like Blitzarves, Froling, Canada. They are a loaded team there, Woods. But have you got to see much of the WNBL, and what are your thoughts so far?
I'm going to have to start watching now, man. And unfortunately, I've had a bit this year because the Cricket World Cup was on and just finished off last week. But I'm really going to get my Wednesday night viewing on now from tomorrow onward. I've been following the ladder and seeing the results, but I want to get familiar with the players and the rosters, and that's going to take some time. So I'm going to kick off my viewing now. So
Wednesday night's a good one too, isn't it? There's not a lot of other sports that's competing with. There's never NBL. We don't play. We don't normally record the show on Wednesday night. So I'm the same. I've sort of got that on the series link thing on Foxtel, and sort of when that comes up. I do find the Foxtel games, ESPN games, easier to watch than the whatever that weird Channel 9, the one you always tell me about.
Have you been watching on 9 now or what?
A little bit on the computer. I don't know if it actually works properly on my TV, so I'm watching on a smaller screen. What is it, 9 now or Go?
Yeah, you can watch it on your TV as well.
Yeah. I do prefer when it's all on ESPN, but I understand that's how the split they've got it there. But like we always say to everyone, get out and support the women's game there. I think the league's in a really good place at the moment.
Absolutely.
I don't feel like I've got a team. I like the Flames, obviously like Perth there, but have been watching a little bit of Perth, this year. And Annalee Maley Woods, she's just impressive to watch. I mean, she's one of the better rebounders in the female game I've ever seen there. She's certainly not one of the biggest girls there, but she just I don't know what it is with her, whether it's just timing. I don't know. Like, she just seems to just have like a magnet with getting the ball there. So she's been really impressive to watch, and quite enjoy her commentary. Actually, they've had her a few times on the sideline for the Wildcats games, and it's clear how knowledgeable she is about the game. Shout out to.
I did watch that Lynx versus Southside game last Wednesday, actually, before we recorded with the basketball blokes. So that's the one game I have watched. Shout out to Annalee Maley,
and of course her dad, Paul Maley, who we were big
Paul
fans
Maley,
of
the mailman,
the Giants back in the day, right?
Yeah. for sure.
Well, I think it's that time of the show, Woods. We open a classic pack. Should say to all those people out there watching last week, while we called it a classic pack last week, geez, it was an absolute shocker, so hopefully we can do better. But what do you got for us this week?
I've got 91-92 Skybox series too. Ones with the white borders from memory.
Interesting. I don't remember, because I remember Skybox with the black pack, so these ones... Oh, Series 2, these are some no-names too, I think, aren't they? Aren't these all players
this is the white ones, I think, with white borders, remember? 90, the original one was the black borders.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I think, anyway.
You still got heaps of packs in stock for us to do this going forward? Or what?
Man,
heaps. I like it.
But he given us presents, sent to me, etc. Yep, these are the ones that I remember. Yep, with the white borders.
Nice.
Okay. Jay West, bang this in the club, drop the name of this great shooting guard in his song. Number 22.
Oh, Clyde Drexler. I was going to say Clyde Drexler. Yeah. Of course, yeah. Oh, I do remember these ones. Yeah, these are a nice set, actually. That's a good start, right? Clyde Drexler rocking those old Blazers unis there. So, good start so far. Yeah.
Okay, we got a Blazers team card. It's on a checklist.
What have we got on the back of those?
When the Expanded Trailblazers posted a victory in their first game in team history in 1970, it was sign of good things to come for this successful franchise. It took only 7 years for them to win its first NBA championship under the guidance of legendary coach Jack Ramsey and the leadership of Bill Walton. Mm-hmm. Yep. Since 1976, the Blazers have sold out every home game in the Memorial Coliseum. That NBA record streak had run to 660 sellouts going into the 91-92 season. So that's 30 years ago now, right?
I wonder if they're still selling out the games this year with some of the lack of talent on that team. Interesting.
And having the pro sports
probably still would be, right?
Yeah,
that's
I'm
right.
sure they've got to do something.
Competing teams, yeah.
All right. Love this guy. Atlanta Hawks legend. Moved into coaching afterwards with indifferent results. Number 10.
That's too early for Mookie, isn't it? Number 10
had a Labrador named.
What did you say, sorry?
I once had a Labrador dog named.
Oh, of course, Mo Cheeks, yeah. Rest in peace to Mo. Yeah, Maurice. Yeah. Nice. Oh wow, that was cool. Yeah, he was sort of came to the Hawks towards the end of his career there, but no, he had a great career there, Mo Cheeks.
All right, this is the Charlotte Hornets career leaders card, right?
Interesting.
So in 91-92, I'm going to ask you, who was the leader in assists, points, and rebounds for the Charlotte Hornets? I'll give you a clue. Point. It's a guy that I love, man.
Kelly
Tripucka. Hell yeah, man.
Nice, 1 for 1.
Rebounds.
J.R. Reid for rebounds?
Rebounds, J.R. Reid, man. Yep.
Nice.
And assists?
Ooh.
Come on, man. We've spoken about him really on the... When we talk about the jersey you're wearing and we talk about other great little guys, who comes in?
Of course. Mr. 5'3" himself, Muggsy.
Exactly.
Nice. Hey, so I'm in good form this week. You know, you ridiculed me at the start of the last week's classic pack. I was in bad form. I know you were only having a laugh.
I was. Okay, the OG... this guy got on the shoulders of his teammates in Orlando once he won a championship, once he won a playoff series against the Chicago Bulls, to the dismay of Michael Jordan, who was at the time just come back from football.
So he played for Orlando in that year. He was an Orlando player.
Yes, previously from the Bulls.
Oh, Horace Grant. Nice. Yeah, geez, he had success followed him everywhere he went, didn't they? Look at that.
Magic of Skybox card.
Yeah. Nice.
It's not a bad pack.
Yeah.
Okay. Dallas Mavericks rising star. Okay, this guy was drafted in 89-90. We've spoken about him on the show previously. His career never lived up to what it should have. In Michael Jackson's song, he says, "It don't matter if you're black or
Randy White."
Randy White.
Nice. These are pretty nice looking cards, aren't
they? Oh, love this guy, man. A guy paved the way for European players to come to the league. He was one of the first. Had great stints in Indiana. Detlef.
Nice. Yeah, he was a great player.
Started off in Minnesota. Was it Minnesota he started off in, going to Indiana and then to Seattle?
Can't picture his first name. I can certainly picture. I can picture Indiana, Seattle, and I can picture Parks and Recreation because he was pretty good on that too.
And Portland as well.
Right? Probably playing with Mighty Mouse, I'd say, back in that era there, right? No, that's
double check that.
It's a pretty solid pack there.
So we've got. Oh, it was the Dallas Mavericks, not the Minnesota. So Dallas, Indiana, Seattle, and finished in Portland. Man, 1985 all the way through to 2001, so a very long career, right?
No, definitely. No, he had a great career, didn't he?
This guy's most well known for his time with the Boston Celtics, both as a GM and as a player, but we also know him in the Portland Trailblazers and the Phoenix Suns.
Pretty good at baseball from all accounts, right? Danny Ainge.
Pretty good at baseball, Danny Ainge.
Nice. Yeah, I think he gets a little bit slept on his career. He's known as a bit of a whiner, used to get in some fights and that, but he was a handy player back in the day.
This coach had boyish good looks on the sideline, had a successful NBA career, took over from Pat Riley, and implemented his own, ideologies on the way this team played basketball. They still managed to make it to the finals in his first or second year as coach. After Pat Riley had left Lakers, I'm talking about.
You said his son played, did you?
Yeah, for a long time.
I'm thinking of his name. The one you like his son, right?
Yep. Son played for Golden State, amongst other teams. Maybe had in the Hawks as well, I think.
What's his name? On the tip of my tongue. Nah, give it to us.
Dunleavy.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I've actually got a Mike Dunleavy Jr. Golden State jersey in one of the cupboards somewhere, so that's a nice one.
And you forgot his...
Yeah, no, it was on the tip of my tongue. I knew it was Mike someone, but yeah, nice.
Okay, someone you really, really dislike. Went to the 1988 Seoul Olympics and was a teammate of J.R. Reid's. The friendships that I developed on that team I will treasure for life. It's nice to go out on the court now against opponents that play Olympic Games knowing that we've spared a special honor together.
So did you say someone I don't like or someone I don't like?
Yeah, one of your most disliked
Danny Manning again.
Danny Manning.
For God's sake, what is this? 2 weeks in a row. Jeez. I don't even like saying that name on this podcast. My goodness.
Okay, we've got a Magic card. Just a team card with a little bit about them. I'll read it. By the time the NBA award expanded franchise to Orlando on April 27, 1987, Central Florida already had spent 20 months preparing for the new team that would be called the Magic. Philadelphia 76ers general manager Pat Williams agreed in June of 1986 to run Orlando's expansion effort, and before there ever was a team to cheer, 4,176 season ticket deposits were made, including ones from former Harlem Globetrotter Curly Neal, former Mets manager Davey Johnson, and baseball Tim Raines. Right,
I told you my little story about Orlando Woods back in the day, right? I'm sure I've told it on this show. You know, being a young kid when they came into the league, didn't know my American geography. And I heard this team called the Orlando Magic. You know what the first thing I thought of? Why are they naming a team after Orlando Woolridge and Magic Johnson? Like, why are they naming a team after both those players? So, yeah, interesting.
Yep. Okay, so another career leader, Sacramento Kings card. So let's go again. Assists and rebounds in 91-92. This is tough.
For Sacramento.
The original triple threat was the highest leading points and assists. The original triple threat. Before, walking triple double.
I was going to say, is Reggie Theus one of these players? No. Fat Lever?
No. The original triple double guy. Right? When you think of the guy, the original guy, the first guy to ever average triple-double in a season. Who's the first guy to ever average triple-double? Yeah.
So Oscar Robertson.
Yeah, Oscar Robertson. Points. Right. This rebound, Sam Lacey. Right?
Interesting.
Okay, bullets. guard, 5'11", signed as a free agent by Washington. Doesn't have his number even here. Andre Turner. Didn't have any clues for you to guess that.
Andre Turner, interesting. He didn't play NBL, did he?
Google it.
No? I'll check that. Is that the last one in that pack, or?
2 more cards.
All right, you hit me with the next one.
Okay, Golden State Warriors, Mullen and Hardaway.
Oh,
dynamic duo card, right?
That's a nice
so
one,
it says, in just 2 seasons, Hardaway and Mullen have developed chemistry normally associated with longtime teammates. Hardaway, one Mullen, said, all you have to do is give him the ball and he's going to stick it in. Mullen on Hardaway, he's got the most confidence I've ever seen in a human being. And they're still very good friends to this day, before being joined by their other roommate, who was
Mitch Richmond.
Hell yeah. Okay,
well,
Los Angeles.
Andre Turner didn't play in Australia, but he played all around the world there, so maybe that's where I saw his name playing on. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Okay, this guy was Los Angeles 1984 USA basketball team. They won the gold medal. His name's not... He's not an Australian fast bowler by the name of Damon. His surname the same as that Australian fast bowler.
Vern Fleming.
Vern Fleming. Yeah.
And you know, I'm in good form if I'm getting cricket clues there, Woods. But yeah.
That's okay. Not a bad pack. I like some of those interesting different cards.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. There was some fun facts. We got some decent players. You got some Clyde Drexlers and a few other guys. We got Mo Cheeks, which is good. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, appreciate that, Woods. Well, that brings us to the end of the show. So, look, really enjoyed doing it. We haven't had an episode just with the two of us for a few weeks now, so it was fun to do that. We've got a few things up our sleeve for these next few weeks. Episode 100, we're hoping to, talk a little bit about some of the guests we've had on the show there. We're hopefully getting super producer Lala to come and assist us with that one. So, watch this space. That'll probably be coming out, I think it's the week before Christmas, right, with the way the episodes are running each week. So we might take a week off over Christmas. What do you reckon? We'll see how we go. But just wanted to thank everyone for tuning in. As I mentioned at the start of the show, please make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. We can be followed on Twitter or X at Throwback Hoops, on Instagram, throwback.hoops, and our email address is throwbackhoopspodcast@gmail.com. Also, please support us on Patreon if you can. Thank you for everyone that's pledged a support to us already on there. Woods, have you got any sort of final words, any words of wisdom, any thoughts about the upcoming round in the NBL this week or anything?
It's nice to have basketball back, and everyone's just looking forward to putting their head down for a few more weeks as we head into the summer break, the summer Christmas break. So I think it's a really fun time of the year, so I hope everyone is keeping well and is getting ready to celebrate a great holiday season. Yeah.
Appreciate that, Woods. And it's been fun doing it all again. Can't wait to do it all again next week. It's a peace out from the Throwback Hoops crew.
Peace.